affirmative action because I feel like
Fair
without that legislation, I don't think black people stand a chance. We had to create the legislation to even have a chance. And I don't know why you have faith that without that legislation, things will be fair or on equal footing for black people.
I think that most people who benefit from affirmative action are the immigrants who came after Kennedy's immigration reform in the 60s. They are not descendants of slaves. They are people who came as immigrants like my parents did. Mm-hmm. And so I just think it is a broken system to say that you look like someone to whom a bad thing once happened and you're going to be favored over someone who looks like someone who once did a bad thing.
You think your parents would have gotten the same shot without that legislation?
I mean, so it turns out that Asian Americans, Indian Americans don't benefit
you want to take away something
that
benefited your parents, which directly benefited you.
See, here's what I'm saying is whether or not it's in our past, the question is, how do we actually move forward as one nation? And I do not believe it is with race-based quotas. I believe it is economically empowering all Americans.
I think that legislation was put here to protect people that look like me, people that look like you, and I think you're ridiculous to want to get rid of.
Here's what I would say is Lyndon Johnson's Great Society that this was part of, mm-hmm. right? So affirmative action was part of it. There was a broader set of policies designed to help black Americans, I think have been disastrous for black Americans and all Americans.
Well, sir, it wasn't disastrous for you. And what Charlamagne is saying is your parents benefited from it.
They did not. I mean, as a point of fact, that's false. Indian Americans do not benefit from affirmative action.
No, that's not as a point of fact. No, that's not as a point of fact. Because without the liberties that black folks have fought for, which has basically immigrants have been able to prosper in this country because of that. But we're not going to go there. Let's just say they benefited from being able to have the freedoms that black people fought for. That's the bottom line. And in turn, it benefited you. And then your answer a moment ago was, well, let's not talk about stuff in our past. See, once it benefited you, you were able, you moved on.
I want to be honest with you. You guys want to get real. Let's get real. My parents were.
That's why the heart of a service. No, sir. Because the black people hadn't fought.
Yeah, we got to get real. My grandparents lived in a colonial society. Britain colonized where my grandparents lived as well. But I think that I don't do well by seeing myself as a victim of the white man because actually Great Britain happened to have colonized where my grandparents were actually colonized.
I think you were
That's moving the goalposts.
I think you were
victorious. What benefited your parents when they got here?
That's right.
What benefited all of us is the fact that we have a free country. Where anybody is free to achieve what they want. I don't know they came to this country with not a lot of money. What benefited them was hard work and dedication. My dad faced layoffs when he was growing up at GE. Right. He went to law school at night to be able to keep his job. What did that teach me?
Affirmative action benefited him?
I don't think affirmative action benefited him. Absolutely not. I think hard work and dedication benefited him. And that's part of what I want to share with all Americans. I want to make this the country where no matter who you are and what your skin color is, you get ahead with your own hard work and commitment and dedication. That you get ahead not on the color of your skin, but the content of your character.
He has to go, guys.
And that's what I want for America.
One more thing. You told a voter that you were open to ending foreign aid to Israel. Then it was reported that it was a misunderstanding. What happened with that?
Yeah, it was. That was a false reporting, actually. So I think
you never said that.
No, I did not. I said that I was open to actually a broad strategy of disengagement from the Middle East. Mm-hmm. My general view is we fought a lot of pointless wars for a very long time. Ukraine's the pointless war of the moment. And I think that the United States needs to disengage from parts of the world if it does not advance American interests. China's the top threat that we face, and we actually need to prioritize that in our foreign policy.
All right. Well, we appreciate you for joining us.
I appreciate you guys having me.
How do I say? I don't want to say your name right.
Huh?
Do you mean that?
I do mean that, actually, because we don't do this enough, right?
Yeah.
So I do mean that. And I will come back if you guys will have me when I'm in New York City.
Of course.
Because to your point, the Republican debates will be way worse.
It's not real. I mean, we got to get real with each other.
I can definitely tell you, Chris is going to ask about your background, so you might want to start volunteering on your free time.
Oh, I don't believe in virtue signaling. I am who I am. I'm an open book. We're all imperfect human beings. We're an imperfect country. We aspire to be the best version of ourselves.
Yeah, that's not virtual signaling, though, sir. That's just a question, and you need to aspire to do something other than something that benefits yourself. That's all. If you want to say you're going to serve the country, the president is a service role. It's not running a business. So
here's the positive I'll give you. I think your message is powerful for young Americans across this country to hear, and that's what I'm going to take.
My message is right for you.
That's actually what I'm going to take from this.
No, my message is for you because you're saying that people need to reach a certain level of service to be able to vote in the country that my ancestors fought and died for. So my message is not for you. See, I don't do visionary messages. I do direct, straight shot. The host of Straight Shot, No Chaser. My message for you is if you're going to